So you're looking at a typical street in Chicago, in a typical neighborhood of Chicago. But we all know there is nothing typical about Chicago. Now, my name is Tom Barnes, and this is For Love of Chicago, where we look at each and every neighborhood, the 77 community areas, take a deep dive into why you love them so much. So we're gonna explore everything from the north, the south, to the west, and even the east. Yes, there is an east side, so we'll get into that. I thought we start with the Chicago History Museum to let the folks there explain our city's wonderful history when it comes to the 77 community area. So we're gonna head over there now for Love of Chicago. All right, we're inside the Chicago Crossroads of America exhibit at the History Museum, the best spot in town to get the proper history of Chicago. I'm here with Chief Historian Perter Alter. How are you, Peter?
I'm doing great, thanks.
So, 77 neighborhoods. Clearly Chicago has more than 77, and I'm probably not even saying it correctly because they're not neighborhoods, they're community areas, right?
That's correct, yes.
So can you explain a little bit about how we got to 77? Like, what was the reasoning why?
Sure. So really it goes back about a century to the 1920s and 30s and the University of Chicago School of Sociology. And there were a group of sociologists there who were looking at urban spaces like Chicago and thinking, you know, how can we map it? How can we make sense of what they saw as kind of urban chaos and also urban issues that they wanted to address, like food insecurity, immigration, domestic violence, transportation, and so forth.
A lot of those things are still battling today.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So through the 1920s and 30s, the University of Chicago actually teaming with someone who was based here at the then Chicago Historical Society, a woman by the name of Vivian Palmer. They came up actually with the community area system. So yes, you're right. It's not neighborhoods. So there are as many neighborhoods in Chicago as people want to decide that there are, right? Neighborhood names change over time. They are different to different people during different eras. Different people with different backgrounds. But the community area system goes all the way back to the 1920s and 30s. So we started with 75 of them. Those University of Chicago sociologists, they looked for specific areas within the city that had kind of mini downtowns. They had shopping areas. Okay. They had public transportation access, houses of worship, community organizations, and they designated those the community areas. They also looked, of course, think this is pre-expressway. They looked at major streets, you know, think of like Ashland, Western, North Avenue, the numbered streets on the south side, Roosevelt Road. And they looked at those. They also looked at bodies of water like the river, the lake, and so forth. And how could that help define the community area system? So by actually 1930, we had 75 community areas. And they were essentially concretized or sort of created in perpetuity by the 1930 census, which started using the federal census, which started using the community area designations. Around 1980, O'Hare International Airport was designated a community area, as was Edgewater. The interesting thing about Edgewater is that it actually broke away from Uptown. So if you looked at a community area map, say pre-1980s, it would have included a much larger Uptown as a community area.
I did not know that.
Yeah. Huh. And of course, O'Hare Airport wouldn't be part of the community area map either. However, the community area map, the community area designations are not necessarily words and names that people are familiar with today.
Do you have an example of a couple of those?
North Lawndale, for example, is a community area designation. It's an important West Side community area.
Home of Sears.
Yes, yes.
Former home of Sears, I should say.
Right, former home of Sears, and actually lots of well-known folks have come out of the North Lawndale community area. A neighborhood within North Lawndale is K-Town. K-Town has its own historic designation as a historic district. Other examples are Bronzeville in the Douglas community area, Pilsen in the Lower West Side community area, and there's numerous ones of them. Another very famous one is Back of the Yards. their community area designation, which of course includes other neighborhoods, is known as New City. Now, if you go to back of the yards and you say, "Where's New City?" people will go, "What?" Because no one knows what New City is. And even historians who look at the creation of the community area map, they, like those University of Chicago sociologists, we don't know what they were thinking when they came up with New City.
And a common misnomer is that Chicago, there's not much east in Chicago, which isn't technically true because east is everything east of State Street. Right?
That's right, yeah. So that may be true if you're a North Sider, but the farther south you go and the southeast side, of course, if you live on the southeast side, you're going to argue, no, there's quite a bit of east to us, right? So yeah, the way the lake kind of goes in like this, right? There's still plenty east when you look at what's east of State Street.
And we'll be heading east, southeast to Hegewisch neighborhood.
Right.
That will be the next episode of this. But before I wrap up with you, Peter, what's the best way for people to learn more about the museum here, find times you guys are open and all that stuff?
Sure. Please visit our website, chicagohistory.org.